Hey guys, I'm Dan and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Arsenal, some things that have happened over the last week or two that I want to talk about. Obviously we're in a bit of a break at the moment. There's not going to be another Arsenal game until the City game, which is going to be on the 31st, which is about another week away, just over a week away, due to the international break obviously. And the fact that the Chelsea game, we were supposed to play Chelsea last weekend, but we couldn't do that because they're still in the FA Cup, so that game was rescheduled. So we ended up having a good almost 2 weeks off, unless some of the players are on international duty. We'll get to that in a minute, but yeah, there's not really much to talk about in terms of games at the moment, but there is a couple of off the field stuff that I want to talk about. The first one being obviously the next round of the Champions League fixtures have been announced, and obviously Arsenal, and I think all of you will know by now that Arsenal have got Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And yes, obviously, it's brought up a lot of history and a lot of banter and stuff. Obviously, teams like, fans of clubs like United, Spurs, Chelsea, they've been a bit starved of the opportunity to banter Arsenal over the last couple of years. And yeah, so they've jumped on this one, 5-1, 5-1, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, good old 7 years ago now, we had Bayern Munich in the last, I think it was the last time we played the Champions League. And yeah, they battered us both legs of the round of 16 actually, but they battered us, knocked us out the last time we were in the Champions League. So obviously, fans of opposition clubs are gonna jump on that and laugh. That's fine, fair enough. It's been 7 odd years, but whatever. First time, I think it's actually the first time we've reached quarterfinals in 14 years, which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, I just want to give my opinion on it. So at the moment, well, obviously, when you hear Bayern Munich, you're thinking, man. But the thing is, every team now, from this point on, is a difficult fixture. There are no easy fixtures in this round. So, whoever we're going to get was going to be a big game. But the thing for me is that we've got Bayern Munich at home in the first round, and then we go away for the second leg. That's kind of not the way you want to do it. You want to have your away leg first and then play at home the second leg. But having said that, Bayern Munich went and got themselves a fan ban. They played Lazio last round, and yeah, some of the fans threw flares onto the pitch, and so the UEFA decided to punish them by not allowing any of their fans into the Emirates for the first leg. So that actually gives us a little bit of advantage. The Emirates has been a real fortress the last couple of years. The atmosphere there has just been the best it's ever been. I know that for a fact because I went there last year. Well, I went there the first game of the season, and yeah, which is absolutely amazing. One of the best experiences of my life. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, having 60,000 Arsenal fans screaming it Bayern Munich it has to be a bit of an advantage for Arsenal. Having said that, Bayern Munich are a decent team. Although they're managing to not win the Bundesliga this year, Bayer Leverkusen seem to have got that wrapped up. Having said that, there is still like 10, 11 games to go. So, even though they're not winning the league this year, I think Bayer Leverkusen will see it through. They're still a posting team. Harry Kane plays for them. Eric Dyer, I'm not even going to waste my breath on him. I think he was a waste of space. I don't know why they signed him. Must have just been a cheap option for them. Bundesliga is not known for their spending, so. But they're still a massive team. They're still a big club. They've got a lot of experience playing the Champions League. They're not going to be a pushover. Having said that, I think both clubs are different to where we both were, the last time we played them, which was 7 years ago. Arsenal are in arguably their best ever form. At least post Wenger, even before Wenger left, I think this Arsenal team's probably the best team we've had since the Invincibles, in my humble opinion. Doing really well. The club's doing really well. The team's doing really well. Why can't we take the game to Bayern Munich and get a result against them? Some people point out the Porto results. I think that result could be taken with a pinch of salt. Porto set up ultra defensive. They weren't playing football. I call it anti-football. dead football. They didn't come to play us either leg. They just played for the draws both games. They got a lucky. I say a lucky goal. The opportunity to get the goal was quite lucky. In the first leg at Porto, but the goal itself was actually a really good goal. Can't fault that. Um, but yeah, then we did we should have done the business at the Emirates. I think we should have won that game quite easily, but we didn't because they're a tough team to break down. It's like a Jose Mourinho team of old. They just didn't want to concede. They didn't want to win the game. They just didn't want to concede. So it was, we took them to penalties and we absolutely obliterated them in penalties. I mean, our penalty taking has been absolutely phenomenal this season. So we did them in the end, and I think we were widely considered rightful victors. I think we deserved the win and we deserved to go through. The Porto manager, I'm not even going to mention his name. I don't care for him at all. I don't rate him at all. Comes out with stuff after the game, accusing Arteta of stuff. It's just like, just lose with grace. Thank your opponent. Thank yourself for being allowed to be playing in the Champions League and nearly every year because of the league you're in. Just sit down and shut up kind of thing. So yeah, we moved on to Bayern Munich, and I think why can't we? Why can't we get a result at home? Obviously, the thing for me now, I think Ian Wright said it's a mentality thing now. He was talking about the Premier League, I think, but it applies to the Champions League as well. Most of this squad, I mean, 99% of this squad has never played a Champions League campaign before. And this is their first ever time in the tournament. I think Jesus, Zinchenko, Jorginho. I might be missing one. I don't think I have Partey maybe with Atletico. That's it. They're 4 or 5 players out of the entire squad have played a Champions League game before this season. So we saw it last year when we went on the title race, and we were found out in this sense because we were new to it. We were new to challenging for the title. We didn't know how much it took to win the title. So I think that's similar to what's happening in the Champions League. I think that's similar to what happened in Porto. In the fact that our team is experiencing this for the first time mostly, and good or bad, it's going to be experience that they can take on to the next season, because I feel like we're going to get Champions League football next season no matter what. Touch wood. Yeah, could we go to the Emirates and be overwhelmed? Sure, I don't think so. I think if the Emirates were going to do a decent job. Bayern Munich do not play like Porto. They may choose to, considering how effective Porto were at it. But I think Bayern are going to come at us. I think they're going to come at us and play the kind of football that we like to play, where they attack us and we can then play through the press and then attack them in the space behind. So I think it's going to be a bit more of an open game. I think they're going to be two more entertaining games. I mean, the games against Porto were absolutely dead. It was just atrocious football. But these 2 games against Bayern, I think they're going to be really good games. I think they're going to be really interesting for neutrals. It's going to be harrowing for me for both games, but it's the kind of pain that you like. A bit like getting tattoos, really. So yeah, I'm quite happy for. I'm not devastated by it. I think there were tougher teams that we could have got. I didn't want to get Man City this early in the tournament. I didn't want to get Madrid this early in the tournament. PSG is similar to Bayern. I think PSG, on our day, I think we could beat them. But having said that, it's all words at this point. We have to wait and see what we actually do. And their excuses are out there already. If we lose against Bayern, they're going to banter us for losing against Bayern again. If we beat Bayern, they're going to turn around and say, well, this is the worst Bayern in ages. They're not even going to win their league, blah, blah, blah. So we're kind of going to get bantered either way. I just prefer to get through to the semis of the Champions League. And if Chelsea fans, if Man United fans want to banter us, that's fine. I mean, that's the only thing that they've got going for them this season. So, yeah, why not, take a punt or whatever. So I'm not too, I mean, it's still a ways away, so I'm not, the nervousness hasn't built up enough yet for me, but I will get nervous for sure. But it's exciting as well. It's like we're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League for the first time in God knows how long. Just trying to enjoy as much of it as possible, and I've got faith in the lads. I think this is such a really good quality team. They deserve real top silverware this season, and yeah, we've got the quality to do it. So yeah, two more things I want to talk about before I finish this video. And the first one was obviously a couple of days ago, Tomiyasu was announced that he's renewed his contract. I think it's 2026 or 2028, I can't remember, but he's renewed his contract, which is absolutely fantastic. Brilliant player. I mean, on his days, is world class in my opinion. He's struggled with injury though. We have to take that into account. Um, he has been a bit injury prone since he's been at Arsenal, but he's been top drawer. You know, he gets injured, he comes back, and he performs at the top level. He doesn't require too much of bedding in or recuperating time. We can pretty much just throw him back out there, and he does really well. At right back or centre back, he's played left back for us as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with it. To us, we want to keep our best players. Replacing him would have just cost a lot of money. Like, it's easier just to keep hold of him. Hopefully he's over his injury troubles now. He's just coming back now. I think by the time we play against Man City at the end of the month, I think he'll be back fully fit and ready to go. I don't think he'll start. I think Arteta will keep the first 11 that he's gotten used to, which is obviously Kivio at left back, Ben White at right back, Saliba and Gabriel at centre back. So that I think is going to stay for a while, and then he's a good versatility option. He can come on left back, come on right back, come on play centre back. So yeah, I'm really happy with him. Really happy. I think he's one of the last ones now to get a contract renewed. I think the last one's going to be Jorginho, and some people before this season I think would have turned their heads up at that. Really, but Jorginho is having a really good season for us, and he's experienced as well. He's one of the leaders in the dressing room. Like, my friend was saying, no, it cost 50-60 million to replace Jorginho. Why don't we just keep him for another year or two, and then replace him further on down the line. So I'm really happy with that. Hopefully he gets his renewed quickly, because yeah, he's the last one now. I think everyone else is on long-term contracts. Everyone that we want to keep. I think Cedric has announced that he's going to leave at the end of the season. Finally, I mean, I don't disrespect Cedric. I think he's been a good servant to the club, but it's time for him to move on now. He'll probably go on to somewhere in Europe, maybe even another English club, but I think he'll go somewhere in Europe. So yeah, I think we're going to lose some players as well. I think Ramsdale might be leaving. Reece Nelson may leave. Eddie Nketiah may leave. I think we're going to start. I think this summer is going to be the crunch time now, where we're going, as fans, we're going to have to swallow some big pills, and that some people really love Nelson and Ketia and don't want to see them leave, but at the same time, then they're not, obviously. I don't think they're good enough to come in and replace starting lineup players. I don't think Reece Nelson replaces Martinelli or Saka in the starting lineup. There's a notable drop off, and I think it's time to kind of address that and sort that out. But at the meantime, we're keeping our best players, we're keeping our main players, and we're renewing all their contracts. Did Odegaard recently, Ramsdale a couple of years ago. So yeah, Saliba as well. So I think we've got really good strategy with our contract situation. We're not allowing the Aubameyangs and well, not the Aubameyangs, but the Alexis Sanchez's and the Ozils, where they're going to run down their contract, and then we let them go for free. We let far too many massive players go for free, and now we got them on long contracts. They all want to be here. We blatantly tell they all want to be at Arsenal, but if they don't, another team's going to have to pay big for them, and that's the way it should be. So finally, guys, talking about contract renewals, about a couple of weeks ago now, Ben White was announced that he's renewed his contract as well. He was just before. I think they were doing Ben White and Tomiyasu at the same time. They announced them kind of like a week or two apart. And Ben White, like the best right back in the league in my opinion at the moment. He can play a really good job at centre back. Really great player. Fantastic footballer. Absolutely amazing. Gets a lot of stick because I think he made a comment once that he's not that interested in football off the pitch. He doesn't go to games. He doesn't watch football. Football's not his life the way it is for most footballers. That's put an instant stigma on him. From other fans, they that's put a target on his back. So there's a whole big thing about him at the Qatar World Cup. He left early, as everyone knows, and we're kind of finding out now that it's because Gareth Southgate's number two is a bit of a douche, and it's decided to, bully him, basically. It sounds like bullying, in my opinion. Um, Loads of little snide comments in public, in front of the other players. And yeah, why would Ben White want to stick around for that? He's not even going to play anyway. He knows that Southgate's not going to play him. He knows Southgate's got his own favourites. So why would he want to go to these? He basically it's all kicked off because Ben White didn't get picked for the England teams for the March internationals, and Southgate came out and said, "Oh yeah, no, we got a message from Edu on Ben's behalf that he didn't want to be considered for this." And we're all, it's a shame, he's a great player, but we have to respect his decision. And everyone's like, to Ben White, basically he's turned his nose down, turned down England, basically. Similar, it reminded me a lot of Carlos Vela from Mexico when he turned down going to the World Cup in 2014. He got a lot of stick from that. Some fans have never let that go. And it's similar, it reminded me of that. And, everyone starts questioning it. It's like, well, really? Like, would he really turn down? There must be... Everyone knew there was something else going on because he left Qatar so early. And it turns out, there's been leaks for, the last week or two. It turns out that Steve Holland, the number two, has made a couple of comments to Ben White. I think also the fact that he's, you're not interested in football anyway. And obviously, Ben White's an elite footballer. And, he's I think he's the best English right back at the moment in the whole world. I think he's the best English right back. Some people will argue with that. Fair enough. You can argue all you want. Doesn't make it not true. And he's a decent centre back as well. I think he'd probably end up playing centre back for England. Gareth Southgate likes his right backs. So yeah, so basically it turns out that Gareth Southgate's just put him under the bus, threw him in front of the bus in fact, and lied basically. Gareth Southgate said, "Oh, there's no problem with me, there's no problem with Steve Holland, we love Ben, we want him to be part of the team, he's chosen not to be called up." Probably threw him under the bus, and yeah, not good. Not good at all. I mean, Southgate's rightfully getting slaughtered online for this because he's basically been caught out in a lie, like Eric Ten Hag style, kind of weird press conference mistake. Yeah, so, I mean, I think he knows that he's not going to be England manager after the Euros. He's probably thinking, well, this is going to be somebody else's problem soon. Like, I don't care if anyone has going to me about Ben White. I'm not going to be here next year, so, that could be someone else's problem. The problem is that there's going to be this whole stigma around Ben White now, where the next England coach might not want to pick him. Oh, we all read in the paper that you don't care about football and that you turned your back on the England national team, you turned them down. Like, some managers take that really seriously. And it's really unfortunate because that's not what happened. Ben White just doesn't want to be around. He doesn't want to be around a couple of douchebags that, take the piss out of him and make fun of him. Like, why would he do that? He's not even playing. Like, if he was getting an opportunity on the pitch, he probably would have put up with it. But screw that. Like, screw this. Like, no disrespect to England, but I'd rather have him at Arsenal. I'd rather have him recuperating and keeping his energy level, staying fit for the running. We've got 10 games left of the season. We've also got 2 Champions League games coming up. We're going to need Ben White. And, I don't want him to go to England and not play, or go to England and get somebody messing with his head or whatever. Let's stay at Arsenal. He knows he's loved at Arsenal. He knows the Arsenal fans love him. And, rightfully, that's all he needs to worry about right now. Wait for Gareth Southgate to leave. If he doesn't win the Euros, he's leaving. I think even if he does win the Euros, he's leaving. So, we don't have to put up with Southgate in England anymore. Massive rumours that he's going to go to Man United, by the way, and that's going to be hilarious. If that happens, it's going to be so amazing. Like, it's going to be so funny. The meltdowns online are going to be epic. So we had to put up with it, but it's just a shame. Like, I hope it doesn't affect his career, because if we do win a trophy this season, then he's in the conversation for one of the best English players in the world right now. He deserves to be playing for England. He needs to be playing for England. Like, he should be starting for England, whether at right back or centre back. He should be starting every single major game for England, and he's not. And it's the similar thing with loads of other players. Mainu was only called up at the last minute. He wasn't even called up originally. And loads of, I could rattle off loads of players that should be in the squad and not, because Southgate's got his mates, he's got his buddies. He treats it like a club where he has the players that he likes and that's it. But it's not supposed to be like that. The difficult thing about an international management is you pick the best players, the best performing players, and smash them into the first 11 and then play with them. That's the whole point of an international team. It's not just a bunch of players that you like that are probably not really that great and they're not doing well for their teams. And their teams are not doing really well. That's not what it is. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, as an elite manager, grab a whole load of players that probably never really played with each other before and smush them into a team and then get the best out of them. That's the difficult thing. That's why you get paid a lot of money to be an international coach. Is you got to figure out where, like, this is my best striker, this is my best winger. They've never played before, but I want to make them play. I want to make them, forge them into a really good team. Or not. If you can't do that, then you get sacked. So, yeah. The same in Mexico as well. The Mexican coach does it the same in Mexico, where he's got his mates, he's got his players that he likes. They're not necessarily that great, but they fit his style better, that he thinks. So that's not what you do. You pick the best players in each position and then you put them into a team. And Ben White should be in the England team. Simple as that. Saka as well, but obviously Rice as well. I think Rice and Bellingham midfield's going to be absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see that. So yeah, I just want to have my little piece on Ben White. I think he's been treated really unfairly, and hopefully it doesn't affect his England future too much. And that when Southgate and all of his toxicity leaves, whoever we bring in, has the intelligence to realise that Ben White is an elite player and he should have him on his team. But anyway, guys, that's it for now. I'm not going to do another video, I don't think, until the Man City game. That's going to be a huge game. This is looming on the horizon, and then we've got the Champions League after that. We've got loads of difficult games now in the last 10 games of the season, and obviously the 2 Bayern Munich games. So it's going to be an interesting couple of months. So I'll do a video as soon as I can for that. Thanks for watching. I know this video's been a bit of a ranty video, but a few different things that come up over the last week or so that I wanted to talk about. And get it out there, get my opinions out there. Let me know in the comments what you think about any of the issues I spoke about. And yeah, we'll have a conversation about it. Let me know what you think the Bayern Munich score is going to be. Really interested to hear your opinion on that, because obviously everyone's got an opinion on that. So yeah, anyway guys, thanks for watching again. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really do appreciate it. It's just amazing how many people are subscribed at the moment. It's epic. And yeah, thank you for watching the last video as well. By the way, that got a really high amount of views, which is absolutely amazing. I really appreciate it. I noticed that. And yeah, I do reply to every single comment. So comment down below as much as you like. Whatever you like. Good and bad. And yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. I really appreciate you. And take it easy. And yeah, I'll see you in a week or two after the City game. Hopefully that's going to be a good result, because that'll be a good video. But yeah, anyway guys, have a good week, have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys very soon. Adios.